Chapter 1: The Attraction Rejection Game. First on our list is the Attraction Rejection Game. This is the quintessential lover's tango, where partners alternate between pursuing and evading each other. It's a game of cat and mouse, driven by the thrill of pursuit and the mystery of evasion. Chapter 2: The Blame Game. Next, we have the Blame Game. This one is all about avoiding responsibility by pointing fingers at others. It's a defensive strategy that shields the player from accountability, but can ultimately breed resentment and mistrust. Chapter 3: The Catch Me Game. Following closely is the Catch Me Game. This game thrives on the adrenaline rush of the chase. It's not about winning or losing, it's about the thrill of pursuit and the excitement of being pursued. Chapter 4: The Clever Me Game. Then there's the Clever Me Game. This game is played by those seeking approval for their achievements. It's a way to garner praise and reassurance, feeding the player's need for external validation. Chapter 5: The Drama Triangle. Let's move to the Drama Triangle, a narrative game involving 3 roles: the persecutor, the victim, and the rescuer. It's a psychological roller coaster that can loop endlessly if not identified and addressed. Chapter 6: Burns Formula G. Now, let's discuss Burns Formula G. This is a theoretical concept that describes how people play games to reinforce their life scripts and predetermined life outcomes. It's a deep-seated psychological game that can shape a person's life. Chapter 7: The Poor Me Game. Next in line is the Poor Me Game. This game involves seeking sympathy by focusing on personal misfortunes. It's a way to gain attention and empathy, often at the expense of others' patience. Chapter 8: The Recognize Me Game. Following that is the Recognize Me Game, a strategy for seeking attention to boost one's self-esteem. This game is played by those who crave validation and recognition from others. Chapter 9: The Save Me Game. The Save Me Game is another common psychological game. Players of this game seek salvation or rescue, often placing the burden of their well-being on others. Chapter 10: The Status Game. Then we have the Status Game, which revolves around elevating one's social position. It's a game of hierarchy and power dynamics, often played subtly but with high stakes. Chapter 11: The Stop Me Game. Moving on to the Stop Me Game. This is a call for attention through self-harm or destructive behavior. It's a desperate plea for help, often played by those feeling ignored or misunderstood. Chapter 12: The War Game. Lastly, the War Game, a destructive two-sided conflict where the aim is to defeat the other side. This game can cause significant damage, both physically and emotionally. Chapter 13: Conclusion. In conclusion, these psychological games we play can greatly influence our relationships and interactions. Recognizing them is the first step towards healthier communication and mental well-being. Remember, everyone plays games, but not all games are beneficial.